Welcome back, everyone, on our From the Vault series here at 2FBC Tactical. I am Austin Reville, and I'm excited to bring to you a machine gun that you don't get to see every day and definitely doesn't walk through the gun store's doors every day. So we're going to dive into this, and I can't wait to bring to you the HK21, and this is an earlier version of that. With that being said, please like, comment, and subscribe. We very much appreciate all of you. And we're on our drive for 25 to get to 25,000 followers before SHOT Show. If you can help us achieve that, we'd greatly appreciate it. SHOT Show is coming up, towards the middle of January. Very excited to bring you videos from that. Make sure you keep tuning in on our news updates and everything. There's a lot coming at us. And again, appreciate everything that you guys do to help make this possible. With that being said, without further ado, let's dive into the HK or HK21, which is a belt-fed 308 light machine gun. I had the opportunity to shoot this. It is got quite the recoil compared to, say, the G3 rifle, which is what this is built off of. So you got to think, 1960s, the world is changing. Vietnam is starting to heat up. 1961 is when this would come out, and it would see some service in Vietnam. And Germany is trying to modernize their military. Now, they had a pretty big drawdown post-World War II. Now the Cold War is in full effect. And in some ways, Germany has become the center of the Cold War with Berlin. Berlin being technically behind the Iron Curtain. But there are French, American, and British quarters of Berlin, which would become known as West Berlin. And the Cold War would really kind of kick off in Berlin. So it kind of kicks off where World War II ends. With the Berlin airlift is what a lot of people would consider the first or the start of the Cold War. And Germany, of course, has been massively disarmed post-World War II. They do have a very small self-defense force, West Germany specifically we're speaking about here, to guard against, say, Red invasion. And they had adopted what would be the Cent-Me-C rifle, which is the Spanish design, or I should say Spanish manufactured, but German design rifle that would become known as the G3, which is a select fire 308 battle rifle. And they thought, well, we should pair this with a light machine gun, which is very common. You would see Colt do this. You would see the British would do this. This is with the FAL, or FN, I should say, would do this with the FAL. This is very common to pair your rifle, whatever that is. Maybe it's the M16, a center fire mid-tier cartridge or a full battle rifle with a light machine gun option. So this isn't out of the realm of what you normally see. We see this even today with like the SIG M7 that has the M250 variant for it. And H&K has some nomenclature with it. So when you read the model, I should say, the 21, the 2 in the 21 indicates that this is a light machine gun belt fed. The 1 is referring to the caliber, in this case 7.62 NATO. So if it was, say, a 5.56 version, which the HK23 would be, that means it's a belt fed. Number 3 is 5.56, so a belt fed 5.56 machine gun. And that's not true with every gun design or gun modeling system. Glock, for instance, there's much debates over the Glock numbering systems. But for H&K, they do actually have a thought process behind their naming or model naming of their guns. Leave it to the Germans to be very detailed, correct? Now, anyway, this gun would start production in 1961, and it's still in production to this day. What makes this kind of interesting is while the G3 is the battle rifle at the time for the German military, they actually weren't really interested in this particular gun here. They had the MG3, which is the updated version of the MG42, and they were quite happy with it. They were not intending to move away from that at all. So this was really not designed with Germany in mind. This was designed with the rest of the world in mind, if you will. When it comes to, say, like Mexico, which still uses these, and a lot of South African countries, or I should say a lot of African countries, countries that don't have the ability to produce arms themselves, but their militaries do need squad automatic weapons, very similar to what we see with the SAW or the M250, and rifles as well. So the idea was that the G3 and this would be a pair. I actually have a G3. I don't know why I didn't pull out for this one. But that's what this design was for. So this features very typical HK designs. It has the rolling block system. It has a unique feed tray that is on this side. I will flip this over. The whole feed tray mechanism pops out to make the ease of loading. So if I can get this out, slide the whole thing out just like that, and you could load it without a starter link to go through there. The barrel, if I flip this back around, is a quick change barrel, and this is kind of a nice feature because your squad automatic weapon is going to get hot very, very fast. So you have to have the ability to change barrels in a somewhat quick fashion on the battlefield. So it's a simple design. You got this little tab here on your barrel. There's a little pinching lever here that you're going to pinch, and you're just going to rotate this guy up, and the cocking mechanism has to be locked open, and this should just slide right out just like that, and there your barrel is removed, right? Now this version of the gun would go through quite a few different updates over time. They would lengthen the receivers, they would work on the recoil spring and buttstock, update the sights, lengthen the barrel shroud, and even the barrel. This is an earlier version. This is actually a conversion, G3 to 21 conversion done back in, I believe, 1985. So this is a transferable. This is something available to the general public, one of the 760 roughly thousand machine guns out there. So it's a very interesting piece of history, not something you see every day. Now, when it comes to shooting this thing, it has a very high rate of fire. It does take disintegrating links, and I got to say, it's quite a beast to hold on to. Much better from the prone position. We have an indoor range here, and we were shooting it from the bench, which is harder to control than it would be from the prone position. But yes, I mean, I got to say, it's a hefty gun for someone to carry around if you're thinking of a squad automatic weapon. It has a hefty receiver, especially compared to normal H&K guns, while it does feature the kind of typical rolling block design that we see, and the trigger pack looks extremely familiar to anyone familiar with H&K firearms. All that is true, but there are some differences in it, though the trigger pack, of course, will work just like it would on other things. I think the biggest thing with this one is the weight compared to your typical HK. And HK has kind of become synonymous in the modern era with its lightweight design. So whether it's the G36 or even the 416, the UMP, everything's all polymer. This is a full metal receiver, metal barrel shroud. Wow, if I can say that word there. But that helps with its recoil, and that's all part of the robust design. We will continue to see these in service for the foreseeable future. They still produce them, and like I said, this is kind of interesting, especially when you think about German firearms, in the sense that this was designed to be sold on the open market, not necessarily the civilian market. Of course, pre-86, that was something allowed in the United States, and there are some of these transferable ones that we have seen come through. There's an HK21E series that Ian McCollum on Forgotten Weapons did a video on. But it's a very cool piece of history just to kind of take a peek at. The United States did use some of these. Like I said, we did not purchase or procure many of them. It was not a standard issue by any stretch of the imagination. By the time Vietnam was up and running in full force, obviously the M60 would kind of become synonymous with Vietnam era squad automatic weapons, a stamped metal design. That's something that we would choose to do as opposed to this. This one was really designed with smaller countries in mind. And this kind of goes to show that firearm manufacturers, regardless of where they're located, are always looking at the market to see where the needs are and to fill it. So we are kind of familiar with the RPK and the RPD and the Russian variants and Chinese variants of squad automatic weapons, and of course the AK that's proliferated throughout the world. But they're not the only ones to do it, and this is kind of a good reminder that the West does this too. We all proliferate weapons throughout the world. It's not limited to one size or the other. It really is kind of based on caliber, based on alliance of the particular, say, country. if you're in Africa, some African countries are more Western aligned than others. Stuff like that. Of course, warlords, if they have money, go out and buy whatever they want. And then when it comes to standing armies of smaller countries, say like Venezuela or Mexico, or even probably Argentina and stuff like that. Or actually, not probably. I know Argentina has these and actually used these in the Falkland Wars. That's stuff that we will see pop up all over the world. But so I just want to say that just German firearm manufacturers like H&K are selling weapons all over the world. Even though here on the civilian market they can be very restrictive when it comes to militaries and government, they have no qualms of selling, I guess is what I'm here to say. I just want to bring this to you because it's not every day we get to show off something like this. It's a transferable. Transferables, obviously, there are a lot of them, but at the same time, they're really not. When you think about how many people can afford things like this, these things are very expensive. And we're going to have a MG34 here to bring you guys pretty soon, too. That's going to be kind of exciting, which is, in many ways, is the precursor to this. Not in the sense that the design itself, because it's very different designs, but it is the World War II German version of what this is, which is a quote-unquote light machine gun, easily fieldable, and a squad automatic weapon, which is really what the Germans still use today. They just used the MG42, which is the stamped version, which, you know what, that's a future video. I'm already teasing that. Very excited to bring this to you. Until next time, guys, thanks for tuning in to our From the Vault series. Please like, comment, subscribe. Be sure to check out our Patriots Almanac news section on our website, and we'd like to bring you news each and every day as it's coming, and it's coming fast and hard. Have a good one.